Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm actually going to be talking a lot about what you can actually expect in an inpatient setting for obviously eating disorder recovery, because a lot of people have actually asked me to make this video because they were obviously worried about going inpatient because they didn't know what to expect and what was involved. So I'm just going to share with you my experience, but like I always say, everybody's experience is far different, because some people don't obviously have access to treatment, and like I say, everybody's inpatient treatment, if they do have that, it works for some people, it doesn't work for others. Some people only take one treatment and they're recovered, others people can be in and out and in and out, because like I always say, it doesn't matter how much help you actually get, it's about you actually wanting to recover. You can get all the help under the sun, but until you actually want to recover and want to do it not for any external reason, but most importantly internally for you, that's when you actually begin to recover. So first off, I've actually been in and out of hospital roughly about 12 times over the last 20 years for long periods of time actually. Especially the first time I actually got admitted, when I was actually diagnosed with my eating disorder in 2000. I'd actually suffered from my eating disorder obviously from about roughly 1997, just when my mum passed with breast cancer, Like I say, she'd suffered long-term cancer in the womb from having me, various different cancers, and I was actually a semi-professional footballer at the time. You'll have known this if you actually follow my channel, but I'll link the video up above here if you're new to my channel, basically about my eating disorder story. That explains everything. So like I say, I had actually been admitted in a massive heart attack at that point in 2000. I was actually in a potassium coma for 3 months. I actually spent 9 months in the hospital recovering. I was actually fed through a nasogastric tube down my nose, and then actually a peg tube into my stomach as well. So like I say, that was actually at Naval Hospital in Glasgow. That was just a medical hospital at that point. So this is what can actually happen with eating disorders. You do get admitted to obviously a medical unit to obviously help you recover medically, because you've got to get over all the medical issues that's going on in your body. Like I say, you can suffer things like refeeding syndrome. That's basically when they start to introduce calories to your body can get into shock, because things like all the salts and minerals in your body can actually go out of whack. The magnesium, potassium, phosphate. Potassium actually regulates your heartbeat, can bring on cardiac arrhythmia and such likes. But like I say, your body can actually start to basically shut down slowly. Your kidneys, your liver and such likes, and they've got to get all your blood work up to a healthy level. So you'll be in a medical unit if that is the case until you actually get healthy. Then they usually send you down to a psychiatric unit, which actually did happen with me. Like I say, in the psychiatric unit, you obviously, the first thing they do is they search all your bags and your clothes. They go through all your clothes to make sure you've got no sharps and such likes, in case you're going to harm yourself, in case you've got any medication such as things like laxatives, diet pills and such likes, because they've got to really do that. And obviously as well, if you've got mobile phones, they're obviously taken off you, especially the charging cables, because a lot of people can use them obviously to strangle themselves, which has been known, and that's one thing they've got to be very wary of. If you've obviously got food in with you, that's taken off you as well, because when you're in eating disorder recovery, you're given a specialist plan by your dietitian and your recovery team, so everything's monitored. Every calorie that you intake is monitored, so all your food's taken away from you. So that's the first part of it. Usually if you're very underweight and you've been recovering from a restrictive background, you're basically put in 24-hour bed rest. You're lying on your bed constantly. There'll obviously be sometimes you can be in 24 hours monitored out. Somebody like a nurse will be actually sitting outside your room watching you all through the clock to make sure you obviously don't do anything, because with eating disorders you can do things like exercise when there's nobody looking, obviously going to the toilet, binging and purging. So you'll be followed to the toilet when you go to the toilet, and obviously when you go for a shower as well, and you'll be actually sit on a bath seat in the shower to make sure you're not obviously doing any exercise while you're in the shower. Obviously as well, most of the time your meals are actually brought to your bedside, but occasionally what they can do when you start to get a bit better and you actually start to progress with your eating disorder therapy and such likes, and you actually start to basically work along with them, they can actually take you down to the lunchroom, and actually you'll start getting your lunches with all the other patients. But obviously your therapy nurse will obviously be sitting over in the corner actually watching you as well, so that does start to get brought in eventually. But the way they start to do things with eating disorder recovery is you start to progress with your treatment, you actually start to gain points. So what that happens is when you start to gain weight and you start to work along with them and start to really want to start to recover, things will start to be brought back in. Like you'll start to maybe get your mobile phone back and forwards. You'll obviously start to maybe go downstairs with the nurse, start to actually get outside, but you'll be taken out in a wheelchair, so things will be gradually brought back in. And as you start to move along and you start to actually gain weight more, you'll maybe get a weekend pass to go out back to your home and such like. These things are brought in back and forward through your recovery. Obviously as well, that most units actually have different therapy type things that they actually start to do. Like you'll have things like art therapy, meditation, some will actually do things like newspaper studies, basically where you go in there and all the patients will be sitting in a basically around a table, and you'll talk about things that's going on in the world in the news. It's basically to get you engaged with things that's going on in the world, and basically to get your mind starting working and basically get engaged with everybody else. They actually do things like cookery sessions and such likes, but with most people with eating disorder recovery, that isn't brought in till later on down the line, because they do believe it disrupts your eating disorder recovery. I don't know why, but I think that would really help in a lot of ways. But I know a lot of people with eating disorders do use food as basically like nourishing your brain without actually eating the food, so they don't like to start to bring that later in down the line until you're actually getting healthier body and mind. Because the way it works is, eating disorders, as we all know, aren't about the body image or being about skinny, and it's all about the mental issues that's going on in your head. But you can't actually start to deal with them until you actually get to a healthy BMI, which for anybody can be from 18.5 right up to 22. Everybody's different, like I say, and so in most cases you actually have to overshoot, which I know a lot of people worry about in eating disorder recovery, because they think to themselves, oh, if I overshoot, I'm going to keep gaining weight, I'm going to keep gaining weight, I'm going to get fat. That's far from the truth, guys. Your body has a set point weight. I'll actually link down below the Minnesota starvation diet, why that also correlates a lot, and obviously why the set point weight for everybody is very different. Like I say, your body's got to start to trust that you're going to keep feeding it calories, and your set point weight will actually peter out. But for some people it's really important that you overshoot, because if you've been suffering from a restrictive background for years and years, your body's in thousands and millions of calorie deficit. It's got to repair all the internal damage done to your body first. So that's what actually happens, like I say. So as you start to move down the line and obviously start to get better, like I say, you'll start to obviously deal with the mental issues going on in your head when you get to that kind of healthy BMI, because a starved body is a starved brain, like I say. So once that actually happens, they'll start to work on that, and in some cases they'll actually get you up to your healthy weight, and obviously you'll start to go home, and then the kind of therapy side of it will obviously be dealt with out with in the community. So that can happen as well. It's different for every different person. But like I say, I found obviously with my eating disorder recovery, it was very slow, like I say, because most of the time I was going in there and I was actually just going to get fattened up basically, and I knew that I was going in there and I was going to eat everything under the sun and get better, but I was going to come back out and just lose all that weight. And that's what I want to say to you is, guys, eating disorders can do that, because you've actually got to want to recover. It wasn't until 2014 with the loss of my dad that something just clicked in me, and I wanted to start get better. For my dad up in heaven, to do it for him, I wish I could have done it years ago. I wanted to start to do it for my wife, but most importantly I wanted to start to do it for myself. And like I say, veganism gave me my life back, but I always say that to people. I hate when people start to promote this online, that veganism is going to cure your eating disorder. It won't cure your eating disorder. No lifestyle is going to cure your eating disorder. Like I say, it doesn't matter what you eat, whether you're vegan, you're pescatarian, you know what I mean? It doesn't really matter what you eat, or whether you're a meat eater, anything. It's all about you wanting to recover. Like I say, it'll never cure your eating disorder. Your eating disorder is always going to be there. It's about you being in control, being in the pilot rather than the passenger. Like I say, you can take back your life, but any lifestyle is not going to cure your eating disorder. It's about you wanting to recover, and I feel it's really, really dangerous that people portray that. But for me, veganism opened the doors that my eating disorder closed. It gave me back my life. It gave me a purpose, because when you've got an eating disorder, you just don't want to live anymore. You don't see that you've got a purpose. For me, veganism's done that. Is knowing what I'm putting into my body is not only good for myself, but good for the animals, the planet, all that. So that's what I want to say, guys. But like I say, eating disorder therapy can be different for so many people. Some people have good experiences, some people have bad experiences. Like I say, mine was very, very slow, because I had to obviously go through the refeeding program as well, because my body started to get into shock, like I talked about earlier. When they actually start to introduce calories to your body, you can obviously start to suffer refeeding syndrome, like the edema, like puffiness to the face and the legs, which is basically fluid retention, and your body can actually start to get into shock and cause you to have a heart attack, and that's what it did to me. So I actually started off in like 100 calories for 1 week, gradually introduced more calories, 200 the next week, up to 500 the following week, 700, 1000, 1200, right up till you get to that, what your body needs, which is 2500 minimum for what I needed at that point. But like I say, in eating disorder recovery, you can be eating 4,000 and 5,000 calories, which it did for me as well, and I still wasn't gaining weight. So everybody's different depending on the damage it's done to your body. So I hope this has explained a little bit about what eating disorder therapy is like. Like I say, especially for me, you get a great deal of friendships in eating disorder recovery therapy. I had great support, and some people actually saved my life in there. It was absolutely amazing, but especially it can be really, really problematic, because when you're in there with different eating disorder patients, especially myself, because you basically get sent to a mental health unit, so you're dealing with people that's got bipolar, schizophrenia, and that can be really, really traumatic. It's just really, really harrowing, because you're basically disconnected from it, because they're all get different medications and they're basically really, really sedated, and you're seeing all these tantrums that they're having and being restrained to beds. That can really, really be traumatic, because though we've got a mental illness, it's much, much different. And when you're dealing with other patients with eating disorders, they start to bounce eating disorder behaviours off you, like obviously disguising their weight gain, like trying to obviously water load and tying weights under their underwear to make themselves look heavier, and basically the eating disorder behaviours like hiding food under the bed and things. That can really, really cause you so many issues with your eating disorder. So like I say, that can affect a lot of people, and some people, I say, it's different for a lot of people. These are the things that you can actually, that you may experience in eating disorder recovery. So I just wanted to put that out there. But like I say, everybody's different. I would like to hear your thoughts and your experiences in your eating disorder recovery, and if you've obviously been inpatient or such likes, let me know. And if you want me to discuss anything else further about this kind of topic in the comments below, let me know, and I'll do another video on that. I send you all my love, guys, and remember, as I always say, binge on life, purge negativity and starve guilty feelings. Binge on life, purge negativity and starve guilty feelings. Speak to you all soon, and love you so much.